Hey guys, behind me is Union Memorial Hospital. This is a hospital where Al Capone was treated for his syphilis. And as I mentioned before, he wanted to go to Johns Hopkins Hospital, but ironically, they did not want to deal with somebody with his reputations as stated by the newspaper. So Union Memorial was gracious enough to accept him as a patient, and after he was transferred out of Alcatraz, he wound up going to a penitentiary in Pennsylvania, and he left there November the 16th, 1939, and then he came here to hospital, and he stayed 8 weeks. So he left out of this hospital about January the 8th, 1940, and they wound up renting a home not far from Pimlico Racecourse. I'm going to show you a picture of that, and it's still there today. Beautiful home, but due to the generosity of the hospital and them being gracious guests, Al Capone gave 2 weeping Japanese cherry blossom trees to the hospital. Now, unfortunately, one of them got ripped up in 1950 when they were making way for the new wing of the hospital. There is one remaining, and in 2010, part of it split off due to a heavy snowstorm. Now, the branch that broke off, there was a arborist that was able to make some different items from that branch, such as a bowl, wine stoppers, and some other knickknacks, and they put it on eBay, and they wound up going to the hospital here. But I wanted to show you the hospital and the tree that's remaining. And if you ever come here to Baltimore in the early springtime, you'll see a whole bunch of different cherry blossoms around, but it looks totally different without having their blooms on. But I'll show you a picture of what it looks like with the blooms on in early springtime. But this is the hospital where he stayed. As I mentioned, his entourage included 2 food testers, bodyguard, and his barber, and of course his mother, wife, and kids. Behind me is the last of the 2 weeping Japanese cherry blossoms that Al Capone wound up gifting Union Memorial Hospital. Here it is, right here on 33rd Street. If you ever come down, ironically, right up the street is Johns Hopkins University, the college, so you're not far from there. But this is it right here. And as I mentioned, part of it split off back in 2010 from a big snowstorm.
A guy walks into Union Memorial Hospital, and the nurse had to do a double check when he looked down at Al Capone. Yeah, that legendary mobster released from Alcatraz.
ABC2's Fred Slade brings you the story of the Capone cherry tree and its attraction for those who come to train at Union Memorial.
Spring is in the air and the trees are starting to bloom. Alongside Union Memorial Hospital, the cherry blossoms are now on full display.
When I first came to MedStar Union Memorial Hospital in 2001, I was fascinated by many of the stories of our history, but the most compelling one involves this tree that I'm standing next to, which is the Capone cherry tree.
The tree was a gift from Al Capone, given to the hospital in 1939 in gratitude for the care he received there.
He stayed in a room just above this tree area on the 6th floor. He had a 2-room suite. He had somebody who was supposedly a family member who was with him at all times. He initially gave us 2 trees. Only one still remains, the other having been removed during renovation in the mid-1950s. This tree still stands here and blooms beautifully for about 2 weeks every year at this time of the year.
In 2010, a big storm knocked off the very top of the tree.
That wood was salvaged, turned into wooden cherry artifacts that were sold in one of our foundation events to raise money for the hospital.
The story of the hospital's notorious patient is sometimes used as a great recruiting tool.
When I have resident applicants come looking at our program, I tell them the story of the Capone cherry tree and have, as part of our tour of the hospital, show each of the residents the cherry tree. And I can tell you that it is the one thing that the residents remember most about our hospital, and probably about all their residency trips, because it is so unique to our institution.